Hey everyone, Fox Demon Master here, coming at you with another review. This week I'm going to be doing Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, just saw the premiere last night, and I gotta say, it was pretty good. Now, before I get anything going, I'm going to remind you, this is a review show, so there will be spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. So I'm going to give you a minute to click off to something else or watch another one of my reviews if you want to. Okay, I think that's long enough. Let's get this thing going. All right, first off, we start the episode in a pretty interesting place. We see Sam at a we hear Cap's final words to Sam, about the shield, and when he hands it over to him. And I gotta admit that the shield itself probably doesn't weigh that much, but the responsibility behind it, that is a very heavy burden to carry. And I don't think it's something that Sam really wants or thinks he can live up to carrying, which he makes abundantly clear throughout the episode. Whenever people ask him about the shield, he always comes back to the same line. It never felt like it was mine. And I understand that because he's carved out his own identity as the Falcon, and I don't think he was ever expecting to take up the mantle as the new Captain America or the next symbol of peace for America, whatever you want to go with it, whatever you want to call it. So instead, he sticks to being the Falcon. We see him go on a rescue mission to retrieve a captured U.S. soldier before he's taken across enemy lines, and that was a pretty exciting. It was really cool to see. I mean, Falcon, we get to see Falcon in a slightly new suit from the one we saw in Endgame. I mean, not much different, but it's definitely enough to be noticeable. Yeah, we see Sam take on Sam do some mid-air combat. We see him do some we see him fight in a cargo plane, and we see him he zooms around a canyon trying to avoid missile fire from these tactical attack helicopters. I think that's the right terms. Well, whatever. We see him zoom around fighting off these helicopters while trying to rescue a captive soldier from enemy combatants, and it was crazy. I mean, the guy is jumping in and out of helicopters. He and Red Winger just fly. It was flying crazy. It's a really awesome sequence. I think it spanned about 10, 15 minutes. I mean, it's a 49-minute show, and it did eat up a good chunk of time. But after Sam rescues the guy and goes home, he doesn't go home right away. We actually find him in a cafe. We actually find him next in a cafe with another soldier, repairing Red Wing after the fight, and talking about group of this online group called the Flag Smashers, who are I don't think they've done anything majorly illegal, but they are definitely something to be. They're red flagged at this point. They're being red flagged at this point. So Falcon tells his protege, who I don't think we heard his name, or I didn't catch his name at the very least. He's like, if you think they're concerned, keep an eye on them and notify me if anything goes down. Which obviously it does. he follows the chatter of he follows the chatter for the Flag Smashers to a rendezvous in I forgot where it was. I want to say no, it was Switzerland. In Switzerland, yeah. He follows the chatter to a rendezvous in Switzerland that the group set up, and all of a sudden, somebody shows up, hands out a bunch of masks with a red face with a red handprint on them to everyone there, and all of a sudden, a guy jumps out of a building, at least 3 stories up, lands, and things just go nuts. They just tell everybody everybody gets a message to run, and from there it just turns into straight up chaos. These guys are clearly more than just an online group. They are a budding they are budding I don't want to they are budding criminals, maybe terrorist organization. I haven't done any research into the Flag Smashers yet, but I will later on. So The Sims soldier buddy tries to stop the ensuing incident by going after the guy responsible. Care who, and let's say it doesn't end well for him. It was like watching. It's basically like watching Captain America fight that ship full of guys in Winter Soldier. Yeah, it was that bad. It was borderline embarrassing. The guy just he murks our little soldier guy. He murks Sam's little soldier friend in like 3 moves and just disappears after that. Then we cut to Sam going home to visit his sister and his nephews. We see that his sister has been in a bit of a financial trouble lately, so he comes home to try to help out with that. And his sister doesn't really appreciate it. She feels like he's just trying to come in and fix everything. He's trying to be the hero, and that he's just doing all this to dissuade his own guilt from leaving his family earlier to join the military and go off and be a hero. But yeah, speaking as a brother myself, I can understand both sides of this argument because on one hand, she's his sister and he really does want to help, but at the same time, she feels like she's had to carry everything, not only for the 5 years he was gone, but while he was serving as an Avenger and in the military, because that's partly because that's what they agreed they would do, and also because well, not everybody can. Somebody has to stay home and look after things. I mean, kind of what your family does. So throughout the episode, we see Sam and his sister argue about her selling off the family boat, which he doesn't want her to do because it's part of their family legacy. It's the boat they grew up on as kids. It's the one that their family. It's part of their family business. It's part of their legacy. It's something he wants to keep, but his sister finds it too much of a burden to. So she wants to sell it off and use the money to help with something else more. So help with other bills. Both. I mean, that's a rational argument, and I understand. We you understand where they're both coming from. You can see both points of it. It's pretty clear. So Sam tries to get some financial assistance for his sister. Both using using his credit as a Avenger, but come to find out, Avengers don't really get paid all that much. Yeah, interesting, huh? Tony had all that cash, but he didn't pay a single Avenger. Little awkward to find that out. Uh-huh. So let's segue off that for now and head over to Bucky's side of the story. We find Bucky is still dealing with the trauma of his time as the Winter Soldier. He's been having nightmares, he's not sleeping well, and he's even going to therapy. Ooh, sorry. Sorry about that. Give me a minute. Might need a glass of water after this. We find out from his therapist that Bucky has not been communicating with anyone since the events of Endgame. Despite Sam reaching out to him numerous times, Bucky has not replied back. Which is kind of interesting because I really want to see how they end up teaming up. Because right now, it doesn't seem like they are in any way, shape, or form ready to team up or even going to team up. Yeah. So, like I was saying, we find Bucky in therapy. He's talking to his therapist about, well, less him talking, more of his therapist kind of trying to coax him into, well, living again. uh, he talks about him making amends, which to the people he's wronged, uh, and also trying to take down the people he put in power. Although he doesn't really say that to his therapist. Sorry about that. A little bit of an itch. we we pan to him. Uh, oh, I'm tongue tied. Why am I tongue tied? Sorry. Like, mm. We find out that not only is Bucky taking down some of the people he put in power in his time as the Winter Soldier, we find that he's also been trying to confront the wrongs of his past. We see him go to lunch with an old man who we find out is actually the father of one of the people he killed as the Winter Soldier. The guy wasn't a target; he was just a unlucky bystander. And we find Bucky trying to make amends both by befriending this man, and also trying to give him the closure he needs about his son's death. But he just can't seem to bring him. Obviously he can't bring himself to tell this man that he's responsible for the death of his son, even after the guy got him a date. Yeah, you could see even like throughout the episode, you see Bucky uh, trying to not trying to both trying to work through his uh his issues. Obviously, when he's on his date with this girl that uh, the old man set up for him. Yeah, kind of the best wingman ever. I mean, come on, the old guy got him a date in like 5 minutes. I mean, you gotta respect that. That's pretty cool. So while he's on his date, the girl starts questioning Bucky about his past. What did he do? What's he questioning about his family, and then it brings up a lot of issues. It brings up a lot of you can clearly see it brings up a lot of issues and emotions that he clearly hasn't dealt with and is not dealing with, because halfway through the day when things start to get good, I mean, okay, not good, but start to get going, he just kind of has a total guilt meltdown and runs out. Doesn't say anything. He just straight up leaves. He goes to Mr. I want to say Yao or Yoshi, something like that. Hmm, I'm not really good with names. It takes me a minute. He goes to the old man's apartment, and he tries to again tell him that he's sorry for what he did to his son and that it's his fault his son is gone. But the second he sees the shrine in his apartment, he freezes up and he walks away. Yeah. And that is more or less what happens to Bucky and Sam in the episode. But what I found interesting about this episode was what happens at the end. Sam's in his living room having, well, in his sister's living room, and all of a sudden something comes up on the news. A congressman or a senator, or congressman, I can't remember which one, comes on news and he tells America that they are it's in a trying time, and obviously they still are. I mean, people are trying to get back to normal after everyone coming back from the snap, and things are really unstable right now. You got new Things are really unstable, so they need a new symbol of peace. They need a new Captain America. And since Bucky turned down the and since not Bucky, since Sam turned down the job, they got someone new. And they even gave him Cap's shield. How messed up is that? The end of the episode is some rando coming out just as Captain America with Steve's shield and giving a little wink to the camera, and that's it. That's how they ended the first episode of Falcon Winter Soldier, with Cap getting replaced and Sam just sitting there staring at the TV at awe. Yeah. So I can't wait to see this how this affects the show. I mean, we don't really know that many details about the show, other than Sam and Bucky are teaming up to take on some terrorist group, which is pretty obvious at this point is going to be these Flag Smashers. But The show has a lot of promise, and I can't wait to see where it goes. I mean, we've all seen the trailers for it, and we've seen the great action sequences and the bit of a bit of comedy and character interaction between Sam and Bucky, and I can't wait to really get into that. So until next week, until the next episode, I can't. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at FDM Reviews. Uh, all right. Guess that's all I got for now. Foxy Master out.